Now that you understand how to create a content area, it's time to learn how to add content to it. We're going to start by selecting one of our content areas in the left menu. I'll begin with syllabus. Every content area has the same frame structure. You'll see build content, assessments, tools, and partner content. For today, we're going to stick with the build content tab. As you can see here, we have many different files we can add, such as audio, images, standard files, and items. The difference between an item and a file is that an item allows you to add a text. The difference between an item and a file is that an item provides a text box for you to add additional instruction or information about that content file, where the file is just the file and that's it. So let's begin by taking a look. I'm going to add a file. To do this, I'm going to select Build Content and then File. Everything on Blackboard requires a name, so I must put a title in for this. I'm going to call it Syllabus. Next, to add the file, I'm going to select Browse My Computer, navigate to the file that's stored on my personal machine, and I'm going to select Open. You can see here that the file name verifies it has been added, as well as the file type. There are several different document types that you can add: PowerPoints, PDF, Excel, Word. They're all supported, as well as the Mac versions. If we scroll down, we have a couple of different settings. First is open in a new window. So if you would like your students to have this in a separate window from the course shell, you can. However, we always recommend that you stay in the same window at all times. Permit users to view this content. For this, you'll want to make sure that it's selected at yes, or the students will not be able to view it. If you've added it and you're just spending some time building still, you can set it as no. Track number of views. What this does is it tells you how many times that piece of material has been viewed. It does not tell you the student and how many times the specific student has viewed it, but it does tell you a total number of times. So for example, one student could view it 40 times, or 20 students could view it twice. The Display After button, and if I would like this piece of material to display to my students next week, I can select this calendar, select the 9th, and change that time. Maybe 8 o'clock in the morning. I'd like this content to display. At that time, Blackboard will release it to the students, and they will not be able to see it before that time. If you'd like it to come down maybe 1 week, 2 weeks, a few days after you've posted it, you'll select the Display Until button. And I'm going to say that this can be viewed until Friday at midnight. Now, at midnight, Blackboard's going to take this content down and students will no longer be able to see it. This is commonly used with assignments, so that way students aren't submitting papers late. I'm going to go ahead and select Submit, and we'll see that the file has been added. In addition, we can add an item. As I mentioned before, the item allows for this text box to appear, but the process is the same. I'm going to title this as well for the syllabus. And here I'm going to add some additional content information for them. I'm going to continue to scroll down and browse my computer to attach the file. And the same settings apply. I can change the Display After and Display Until dates. I can allow students to view the content or tell them that they cannot. And I can also track the number of total views on the piece of content. I'm going to select Submit. And here is where you'll see the difference between some of the settings that I've chosen. So for example, the first difference between the two is that for the file, I set the date and time restrictions to be limited. So as you can see here, the availability is not available, and it will be available after August 9th at 8 a.m. On the item, I did not change any of the date and time restrictions, but I did add some additional text, which you can see there displayed on the screen. In addition, you have the ability to add things such as images and videos. The process is the same. You'll go to Build Content, Image. As always, everything on Blackboard requires a name. And we're going to find the file. You'll see the confirmation that the file has been attached. For accessibility purposes, it's always good to provide some alternative text. And as you can see here, my logo displays. Now you know how to add content and file types that you do. Refer to our next quiz to gather your knowledge points and complete the mission. Good luck.